the deal. After you've watched these movies, the book is actually, I mean, some people process the book before the movies, okay? And good for you folks. That's awesome. Or the miniseries, I should say. But
it's very elegant, it's exquisite of you.
Yeah.
Whatever the word is. I don't know.
But after having all of this media content, per example, say like Batman's parents being killed. There's like 800 different renditions of that. You've seen Batman's parents killed in even cartoon version of Batman. There's so many different versions of that within a movie. It's a legend that lives within your head. And the It story kind of does as well too. There's even different faces. I would say both miniseries and movies casted incredibly. All of the characters work as the characters. But to read the book, it does. It adds a further level because I would say it's a lot easier, obviously, once you know the characters, you know who Pennywise is, to jump into that door stopper. But there's a audiobook, fucking incredible. I'm trying to forget. I forget who narrates it, but it's incredible. Steven Weber is who does it. He was the dad in the miniseries Shining, like that one. He was in Wings. The dude does great, man. The voice is incredible, but it adds a lot. There's a lot of jelly in those donuts there. There's a lot of jelly in those donuts. And one thing that it does is it brings all of these characters to life in a big way. You really identify with a lot of these characters. Stephen King's always been great at writing characters, but this is thick. And then you have the movies on top of it. So there's just these whole archetypes, and you really do care for these characters after some time. I love the movie Stand By Me, and you identify with those kids, but it's really a short story. It's a short story, so you don't have as much to go off of, and there's only that one movie. I mean, they live in our hearts still, but it is just so big. It's like the Batman's parents being killed. Like, you know multiple Alfreds, you know multiple Robins, multiple Jokers, but the character lives in your heart as all of them. And the book really helps with that. And the one thing I will say with it too is, it as well, all movies deal with some kind of adversity, right? Like, I don't care if you're Simba and you just can't wait to grow up and be king, even though your dad died and your uncle's a jerk. Every movie, you're overcoming some form of adversity, or it'd be a dumbass movie. Like, even comedies, there's something that they're trying to accomplish, right? There's some goal that they need to do. They're trying to beat something. And most of the times, they overcome their biggest flaws and whatever. The It story is that on fucking steroids, all right? This isn't like sloppy horror psychology hour, but every human being has that one thing that troubles them, right? Like, when you look in the mirror, there's that one thing that makes you insecure. I don't know what that thing is because I've got my own. Everybody has that one thing that they know they need to work on. Everybody has that one thing. And it's like, some people multiple, I'm sure, but there's that one thing. But the multiple things are usually more accomplishable, or they're easier obtained. But that one thing, right? There's that one thing. And it accentuates that to the fullest degree. And if you can watch it as like, oh, hell yeah, Pennywise the Clown fucks these people up as kids, and then he comes back and gets them as adults because he's an asshole. It's like, there are many characters who play on your psychological fears, whatever. Freddy Krueger, for example, right? It's done in a more slasherous way, a more comedic way, which Freddy's my favorite. I'm not saying that as a knock. I'm just saying it's a little more almost digestible. It feels serious, dude. Like Pennywise, whatever the creature is, the dead lights, it's the most evil thing that just comes after your worst fears. And it will kill your friends and family. Like, super intense. And it makes those people look in the mirror and fight that one thing. And it's heavy, man. It's really heavy because some of their things are not easy. For example, you get like Beverly. Obviously, she grew up with a very violent father who was physical, and the book even worse, goes even furthermore. into detail. And then she grows up and she marries a fucking asshole husband who's smacking her around and beating her up and stuff. So it's like that's her thing, right? That's her monkey on her back. Then you have like Eddie, who's like the hypochondriac, and it's hard for him to not be so freaked out all the time and to overanalyze everything and to be so dismissive. Like, there's some heavy, heavy issues that all of these guys really have to fight and have to deal with. And it's like, they don't spare any details. This isn't a short film because they're going after each person's thing. And there are horror movies who touch these topics, but I just really, really think that this story in general is so rich in how it does that. And I don't know, with it being a doorstopper of a book, how you, well, it obviously takes long movies, but to really be able to put a chunky, good story out that fully represents the story. Are there parts that are not in it? Of course. But it's not so heavy to the point where it doesn't get to the point.